Good evening, everyone. I'm Kaidi Tom. We begin with breaking news. Rescue efforts underway in the East River after a massive ship has crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge. Stunning new video shows the ship slamming into the bottom of the bridge as hundreds below watched and recorded in disbelief. Police say the crash happened just after 9 p.m. Multiple people are being treated at the hospital. Pixelma's McGee Hickey just arrived on the scene. She is live with new details. McGee, what can you tell us?
Well, we're here in Dumbo, and if you take a look behind me, you see this massive tall ship with what we believe is a Mexican flag that must have drifted between the Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges. It's right now on the south side of the Manhattan Bridge, but the crash actually occurred into the Brooklyn Bridge, and we believe it happened more like around 8:30 this evening. It's believed that there were several crew members on board who were injured. Some people are reporting that it is a Mexican Navy tall ship. There were believed to be 200 people on board, and from talking to some people, they saw people up in the top mast. See, it's 5 layers of sails on this tall ship, and it looks like 3 different masts. And when it slammed into the Brooklyn Bridge, it looked like at least 2 of the masts toppled. And we have talked to some people who believe they saw crew members hanging from the sails. We don't know. We haven't confirmed that with police. You can see up in the sky there are at least 3, maybe 4 choppers, several of them police helicopters, we believe. There are also at least 3 NYPD boats on the ground. And, you know, this is just everyone saying, how could someone who is piloting this very tall ship think that they could go under the Brooklyn Bridge and not crash into the bridge? As we were arriving here in Dumbo, we're right by, if you know Dumbo at all, we're right by Jane's Carousel on that side of the Manhattan Bridge. We spoke to one eyewitness named Micah Gunn, who took a lot of the videos, and he describes what he saw.
There were people working on the sailboat. There was a bunch of them at the very top of the sails. As the bridge was going under, it hits the very top, like the top of the sailboat hits the bridge. The people at the top, they don't fall off because they're all in harnesses, but they all been have been hanging for the past hour.
Wow, what are your thoughts?
I mean, as a bystander, it's pretty hectic, crazy. You never think such a thing would happen. You think it was, I don't want to say common sense, but maybe a little bit of common sense to check before if you could get under or not, whether the height of your boat can get through or not. So.
And with me now are 2 more witnesses to first the crash at the Brooklyn Bridge, and then they saw this tall ship head to the Manhattan Bridge where it is not moving anymore. With me is Haroon,
Salahuddin,
and Ali
Nawaz.
All right, so we'll start with you, Haroon. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, me, Ali, and another friend of ours, we were just eating pizza on on the side of the Brooklyn Bridge where the boat was headed in.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we saw clearly that the mast was too high for that. One of our friends called it out,
he was like,
and it kept continuing, and we saw it like all 3 of them. They got knocked down or got hit by the bridge, and we saw people unfortunately dangling. There were people on the mast, like there were people like all standing on the mast. They were like holding lights, and we saw them like when the mast got hit. There were people dangling, and I think at least 1 or 2 people we saw like fall down.
Yeah,
so
unfortunately, I hope they're all right.
And did you see police rescuing anybody?
Police arrived maybe 5 or 10 minutes after it happened. I think the boat had come to a stop by then over here. There was actually a point where we didn't know whether the people on top of the boat were real, because we were confused as to why there were people standing on top of the mast. So we weren't sure 100% initially whether there was something worth calling the police for, and then obviously we found out that there were people on there were alive, and that there was a medical emergency, of course. So yeah.
Hopefully everyone survived. Yeah. And when you take a look at how tall that tall ship is, and it could not go under the Manhattan Bridge. Clearly, it could not go under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Definitely not. Yeah. Definitely not.
And it does have a Mexican flag, maybe a naval flag.
Yes, yeah, it did. Yeah.
believe so.
All right. Thank you, Haroon. Thank you, Ali. Thank you very much for sharing what you saw.